Hello, my name's John, and I'm from the Linguistics department, and I work on learning algorithms, okay? And it's great because we already heard one talk about learning algorithms and one talk about strings. So I work on learning algorithms for strings. And machine learning is great. Modern machine learning is great when you have lots of data, right? But there are many tasks, especially those that humans are very good at, which involve little data, right? Or sparse data. So to take an example from my own field, human language, humans get an extremely sparse set of data. It's extremely skewed and it's extremely noisy. Yet humans are very good at learning languages. They do it without supervision often, and they do it in an extremely short amount of time. So how do they do this? All right, so we want to create machine learning algorithms, right, which handle the types of data that humans get, strings, and do them in such a way that handles sparse data. Okay, how do we do this? All right, well, what we've done is we've created a learning algorithm. Surprise. Okay, all right. So what our bottom-up learner does, well, let's get into a little bit. So the strings, in fact, anyone who's ever worked with strings knows that there are infinitely many of them, okay? So the task of a language learner, then, is to divide this infinitely possible sets of strings into strings that are, for example, in the language or out of the language, okay? Those of you who work on non-language related tasks know this is a classification task, right? We're solving, or in particular, a membership problem task for those of you who are in computer science, okay? So the problem is even worse for language learners because they come pre-equipped with a set of features that they're selecting for in the data. This means that there are many hypotheses which can accurately describe the same set of data. So how can learners use a hypothesis, which is in a sea of hypotheses, to describe the data? Okay? So if our hypothesis space is represented just as a sack of hypotheses, this is an extremely arduous task. However, what language learners do is they utilize the information given them to order the hypothesis space in a particular way. One that orders it from general hypotheses to more specific hypotheses, represented by this triangle. So what our learning algorithm does is it says, okay, I've got some data. Let's start at the most general, the general hypothesis possible. Does this describe my data? No. Does this describe my data? No. Does this describe my data? And it keeps on going until it finds one hypothesis which describes the data accurately, or at least a part of the data. And then what it does is it prunes this set of hypothesis spaces and says, well, I know that this is a general hypothesis. Now I can disregard all more specific variants of that hypothesis. Okay? So very quickly, I've arrived at a very general hypothesis. And then it keeps on traversing the space until it finds even more data. Oh, let's see. There we go. Right? And now it has another hypothesis which accurately describes the data. Okay? So the learner traverses up in a breadth-first manner, traverses up this partial ordered hypothesis space. And with the sparser the data, the better, right? Because the less sparse, or the less information present in your data, the more the algorithm is going to converge quickly. Okay? So if you want to learn more and you want to see all the math, come and see my poster. All right, thank you.